2023 is drawing to a close, and I just wanted to share my numbers with you and to hopefully provide someone out there some inspiration that if I can do it, someone like me can do it on eBay, so can you. So, without any further ado, let's go. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. This is John with Flippin' Ain't Easy. And I've been criticized somewhat recently, and that's fine. Criticize me all you want, I guess, for not showing my numbers. And intentionally, I mean, many of you guys know what my store is, know both of my stores. We talk about them a lot. If you watch enough of my content, you'll know what stores they are. And I don't do enough of showing you my numbers. And that's sort of intentional because I do not want to come off as someone who's bragging about success. Because for me, I could do better. And I don't really necessarily feel that the numbers that I put out were successful. Yes, I had over 120,000 in sales this year. It came off lower than my projections as I was in the summer, not really knowing the type of merchandise that I was selling, how well it would do in Q4. And I had a kind of a crappy Q4. I had a great last week, and I'm going to show you that here pretty soon. But for me, I was really in July, August thinking I was going to make over 150,000 in sales in this store, but I didn't. It's a number of things. I would think it's still the economy. I think that's affected everyone's Q4. So who am I to expect huge numbers in Q4 when the writing was always on the wall? And there's going to be people who kind of feel a certain type of way about someone like me showing my numbers because they're not doing the same themselves. And I feel bad for those folks. Unfortunately, there's people that still want to take swipes at me and this, that, and the other thing. It's up to you to decide what you want. I'm going to put the numbers out there and show you what I do. And I want to talk about that here when we get back. But let's go to my computer and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. So here it is, guys. My store, Value Trends. This is my main store where I sell most of the things that I sell throughout the year. I'd say 90% of my sales go through this store. And looking at the sales that I've had over the last week, just the last week, Tuesday was good. I'll take that every day of the year. Then Wednesday was nothing. It's like just you're closed today. And then we come back for Thursday, have $800. So this is the second time I've been shut out on a day. And then the very next day I get hit with a huge sales day. It's like my second or third best sales day of the year. It's just hard to imagine going from nothing to great like that constantly. So then Friday, we have 513, Saturday 594, Sunday, Christmas Eve 628. Couldn't believe that. And then of course, Christmas, I was expecting even less than this, but almost a $300 day. And then today, as of making this video, about 1:45 p.m. Pacific time on Tuesday the 26th, I'm at 56.66. Plus, I accepted an offer which will bring me back another $50 after shipping's added in. So not really doing great this week, but I wasn't planning on having a great last week of the year anyway. I mean, it may pick up. I haven't listed anything. All the time I was gone to California, we went on Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I had items on these 3 days scheduled to list, and I'm thinking that might have something to do with my success in sales. But a lot of stuff that's been sitting in my store is sold over the last week. But as you can see here, last 7 days, $2,898. Last 31 days, $10,468. Last 90, which is pretty much encompasses the entire Q4, $30,140.86. And I got to tell you, back in the summer, I was expecting a much better Q4 than this. I was selling at a clip of about 12 to 14,000 per month during the summer, and a 40,000 90 day was where I was at. And it just didn't shake up that way. So my Q4 was a summer this year. For many people, their Q4 was a summer. And I just think that while, it's not like I was selling a whole lot of different types of things. I sell a lot of different stuff. But I think part of this is the economy. And, okay, for those of you out there who, want me to say it, I'll say it. How much of this decline, this decline, 2.1%, was due to buyers not being able to find what they're searching for, and potentially they could have clicked on my item and then bought from me. So is that decline part to do with eBay? But even if that is the case, I'm still making sales, guys. How did these other buyers find my item? Now, maybe they found it through Google search, but we're going to go to my sales here, and I'm going to show you some things. Go like by category. I saw a lot of different categories. Buyer insights, 155 total buyers. That's within the last, we're talking the last month, so 155 sales. But I want to look over this year because this is an end of a year video, and I want to look to see how my sales look. And I'm going to show you last year's as well. So according to this, as of today, I'm at $127,093. Now eBay seems, and that's gross, eBay seems to think that my net is 84, but it's not. It's actually much lower than that. I probably have a solid $20,000 of this net in FedEx labels. Okay, maybe 15,000. But my cost of goods are so low that to say that I made this much in gross, to tell you I probably spent no more than $10,000 in goods this year, is not a stretch. And we're talking a small store. You know, you guys know my store. You can look it up. Value Trends, one word, ends with a Z. And you can see that I don't have anything more than 250 items. There's not been a point this year since February where I've had more than 300 items in my store. And this here for me is, I was thinking 150 was where I was going to be. 127 is where I ended up. And I too didn't have the greatest of Q4s, but I made it work, guys. And looking at, I have 2,040 sold this year on this account. Now going back to last year, generate that report for 2022. 2022 looks like this. 81,000 in sales, guys. That's the entire 2022. 46,266 is about right. You could probably take about 5,000 off of that, for 4,000 off of that for UPS. But my cost of goods weren't very high there either because I was buying a lot of stuff via pallet and yard sale and stuff. But my store has never been huge. I think this was having an 800 item store. And that's what I did all year. I maintained this 800 item store with a lot of stuff. We sold more last year, total volume of sales, as far as numbers of units, but our average sale per item was $37.12, and that's including tax. Had almost 2,000 via auction. I don't know what items those were, and sales via fixed price was 79,000. If you go back to this year, I'll go back to this year again, generate that report again. You'll see that my average sale price changed, almost doubled. Now, consider this. January was just as bad this year. This January is in this set of numbers. So for me, my numbers would be even higher if I would have made the changes back in January. I made them back in February. So my ASP would be a little bit higher. I'd probably have the same number of sold goods, over 2,000, but these numbers would be a little bit higher. I probably would have about another 4,000 or 5,000 added to my gross. So there you have it. Those are my numbers. And I want to show you what I was selling last year. Now you guys want to see what I'm selling this year, just simply go to my solds. Go on to eBay. Those of you sleuths who can figure this out, go into the advanced tab, type in value trends, one word, and just go look at it for yourself. Now, my orders from last year, this is last year. I don't know why it says 90,000. I'm thinking it's taking in the returns that I had last year, but still a big drop from this year. Look at the kind of stuff that I was selling. Now, you can't really see the photos on these because they've taken them off out of the system, but look at the total sales here. You know, I never do free shipping, so you're seeing what the total is after I add the shipping for that particular buyer. And you can see my ASP is not very high from last year. I mean, I'm not even seeing a whole lot of good stuff. I mean, once in a while, you'd think I'd have a $50 item in here, but not really. I mean, you got shoes, $38, $32, $43. That's a Samsung speaker. Things I was finding at liquidation and yard sales. And I was buying large liquidation lots, some wholesale lots. I got this, the Washington. I didn't even spell it right, and I sold the dang thing. Washington Redskins, I sold for, it was $14.75 after their coupon. Got it at the bins for really, we're talking maybe 50 cents after they weighed it. Not very heavy at all. Stunt cars, toys, shoes, more toys. I sold 5 of these little crybaby dolls that we still actually have, by the way. I'm going to sell those at a yard sale. Sold those for $75 for 5 shipped, just to get them out of here. Elvis records, more shoes, DVDs, things I don't sell anymore. DVDs, little hand tattoo kits, Black & Decker chargers, more toys. I had a bunch of these Barbie 4-packs that I sold eventually when the price was lowered down enough to like $16.99. I think I got them down to $13.99 just to move them. More Neil Diamond, Frank Sinatra, Fila, just on and on and on. I mean, this is just December of last year. So the volume of stuff was there. I was selling a lot of items, right? But when you're selling stuff at low price points, like Kayu Sakamoto's Sukiyaki and other Japanese hits, and you're getting $37.71. Well, if my average sale price right now is $65, well, to top that, I need to sell a lot of these at $37.71. A lot more of these $11.99s. A lot of more of these $2.84 plus shipping for Porter Wagner. So as you guys can see, and here's a $100 pair of sunglasses that I had up for like almost $200 until I brought them down to $99, and I found the price point on those. So as you can see, I'm sure a lot of you guys can really appreciate that. Look, I was selling items a lot around the price point, the price points that many people sell them at right now. And my argument is you're still going to get the sales. You can see that this says I had 2,287 sales last year. So the volume is there, but this isn't where I need it to be. Now, some of you might think this is a great year, but just as an example, I was doing okay with the merchandise that I had. I didn't have very good stuff. And I was talking to Rad Relics the other night, and he was telling me, well, you have stuff that people need more so than what people want. I mean, people don't need toy gun darts. They may want them for their new dart gun, but they don't absolutely have to have them. So this is just me putting it out there and showing you that, look, guys, if I can do it, if I can make the tough changes to get from here to here, you can too. So look, guys, it's all about figuring out your situation. Your situation is not mine. No seller out there is going to be able to replicate what I do. I'm not going to be able to replicate what you do. Some of you guys do things really, really well, and 120,000 is like maybe a quarter for you. It's all about, do I pay my bills? It's all about, am I making it work? And that's the motivation I hope to pass on to someone. If you're currently doing something and you're not happy with the results, why are you going to continue doing the same thing if you're not getting the results you're looking for? You continue doing the same thing over and over again with the same or lesser results. That's kind of insanity. And I can see the insanity on some of these channels and hitting at me. It is what it is. I'm a big boy. But I'm not the cause of your problems. I'm not carrying water for eBay. I am thankful to eBay because they're providing me the ability and the platform to be able to make the numbers that I've showed you. I'm sorry it's not working for you. If other platforms such as District, if Mercari, if Poshmark, if Etsy, Depop, all the others, and don't get me wrong, they're good supplemental platforms to what I do. I do supplement my income by selling on those places, but they don't nearly come close to eBay. But if those sites are currently working better for you and the type of things you're selling, by all means, keep doing what you're doing. But just know that the market on eBay is ever changing. And while those same items, and I've said this before, it's nothing new, but if the same items that you're selling or not really selling on eBay were selling years ago and not now, well, you got to adapt. And complaining about it is just not, and feeling a certain kind of way about eBay is not going to fix your problem. And if that makes me a bad guy for saying it, then that makes me a bad guy for saying it. If it makes me a blowhard, which is kind of what compels me to show you my numbers, so it's not some guy randomly saying that, hey, I'm making money on eBay and you're not. I'm showing you the numbers. And I don't want to do this very often, but sometimes I feel compelled for credibility's sake to be credible to the audience. And I think it's important that if you're watching someone that's giving you advice about making money and they're not making money, why would you watch them unless you are just wanting to join the choir of whining? And that's what it is. If you have a problem and you're going to spend your time and energy complaining about it instead of finding the answer, putting out the solution, and sharing that solution with others, then what are you really doing? I mean, what's the point of it all? I like to talk about the problems on eBay on this platform to create awareness because, as I mentioned, we are constantly looking for barriers to navigate around with this platform. It's going to be the way it is for a long, long time. It's going to get worse before it ever gets better. And I'll be the first one to say that. I'm sure others agree that there's going to be a lot of growing pains on this platform, and there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be pushed off the platform because they're not going to make it work, guys. And that's just the way it is. I plan to be one of the ones that make it work. Where are you planning on being? Are you going to make it work, or are you going to go down with the ship wondering why water keeps pouring into the side of the boat instead of trying to fix the boat and fix your situation that's going to give you the best outcome for what's going on, whether it be the economy, eBay, broken platforms, bad this, bad that. What are you going to do to make sure that your boat don't sink? And figuring that out is yet another example of how flipping ain't easy. And I want you to comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on what I had to say. And until next video, have a good one, guys.